Welcome back, everybody, to the Real Estate Agent Advantage. Today's episode is a doozy. We've got Ibrahim Hussein. Ibrahim has led the number one Keller Williams team up here in Canada, and he just made a switch to EXP. But that's not what this is about. This is about how he went from nothing to superhero in real estate in a really short period of time by building relationships and through his mindset. And we're going to dig into his secrets of success coming up now. Hey everybody, welcome back to another episode of the Real Estate Agent Advantage. My name is Lauren Cooper. As usual, I'm north of Toronto, Canada. Today I have a very special guest, but before we get to that, I want to make sure that I say like, share, subscribe, ring the little notification bell, do all the things you need to do on YouTube because I always forget to do that, but I'm remembering now. Subscribe. All right, so special guest today, Mr. Ibrahim Hussein. Hello, welcome.
Thank you, brother. How are you doing? Well, glad to be here. Thank you for having me.
No, I really appreciate it. Thank you so much for making the time. Before we get into anything, I just want to say congratulations. This is not a brand specific podcast by any means, but welcome to the EXP family. I just wanted to extend that to you.
Thank you. We're very happy and excited to be here for sure.
We're very excited to have you. So let's get into it. Please tell everybody a little bit about yourself, where you're located in the world, and maybe your start in real estate and what you were doing before you got into it.
Cool. Well, my name is Ibrahim, and we're located at Waterloo, Kitchener-Waterloo, in Ontario, Canada, which is about like 1 hour west of Toronto. Got into real estate. This is the year number 6. Before doing real estate, I have a law degree background. I came to Canada 10 years ago, decided not to continue my law degree because it was taking a U-turn going backwards. So I did the various different type of jobs related to business, sales, marketing. Ended up in real estate 6 years ago, and here we are today.
All right, fantastic. So why did you choose real estate? I mean, for me, it's a really stupid story. You'll love it. So I was hanging out with my wife, and we were watching TV, about 11 years ago, because I've been in the business just about 10 years. And this stupid show came on called $1 Million Listing. And I say stupid because we know that it's not really realistic, a realistic picture of what real estate really is. And I thought if these like 19-year-olds were selling hundreds of millions of dollars worth of real estate, I could at least survive. So that was my whole thing. I mean, I was transitioning out of a career in music anyway, but that's what sort of lit the bulb in my head. What was it for you that got you thinking real estate?
Well, one of the business transaction I was literally in the telecommunication business right before I get into real estate. So one of the transactions I've done was one of the real estate agents, and his name was Mark. Very grateful for the opportunity, and he's like, "Hey, have you ever thought of being real estate?" I'm like, "Well, I get the idea, but I was really good. I was making enough money, enough living, have a good life, everything was good." But deep down in my heart, I knew that coming to Canada, I'm originally from Egypt, so coming to Canada and starting literally my life from the beginning, like reset button everything again from the beginning. I didn't go to school to have just a random job. So if I'm letting go of my law career, I gotta have to do something that's worth it and it's gonna be my career going forward. So it was the first 4 years of navigating. I took it as a community slash culture integration because sure, I grew up, I speak English, everything is good. Came to Canada here, sitting with my wife, the family side of the family on a Christmas dinner. They joke, I don't laugh because I understand what they're saying, but I don't get why is it funny.
Right.
So these things might seem a little bit not important, but it's actually a huge disadvantage if you're not integrating in and you're not understanding the street language, not just the English language. So that was a little bit of a struggle for me. So I'm like, okay, I gotta have to integrate, and I'm gonna take like 1 or 2 years of doing anything, whatever that might be, kind of like grasping, get the ins and outs of like I'm gonna live here. Okay, that's gonna be my country going forward. That's gonna be the place I'm gonna live in. I gotta have to make it work out. So I did. I'm really good with sales and marketing from when I was 17, selling online supplements, the gym supplements. So I was like, cool, I will do that. So I did this, and then I'm like, still, it's not a career for me. So real estate was the opportunity to be like, okay, this is a career that I can take on and take it very seriously, understanding that there is no U-turn. It has to work out, and but understanding the stats before I get in. I love math. Everything in my life is math. I believe math is the path for everything you want to do in life.
Math is the path. I love it. You should put that in a shirt.
100% it is. So I'm like, okay, cool. Uh, we're in an industry that has the highest failure ratio,
Oh yeah.
even more than the food industry. So 87% of the realtors that they get into the business, they leave the business within 2 years. Average realtor sells 7 homes a year. I'm like, okay, I'm reading all of those stats, and I'm like, two ways to look at it. If somebody's looking to get into real estate industry, look at it in two ways. Either that can be the right business for you, or like take the first U-turn and just forget about it because it's not for everybody. However, I'm a firm believer everybody should try it because you never know it might be for you or not. And the only way to try it to figure out is by trying it. But understanding the math, because when I realize, okay, only 13% that actually makes it, 87% get out of the business. The 13% that makes it, those like basically they made about like 80,000 realtor in Ontario. Out of those 80,000 realtors that made it, average one of those 80 only sells 7 homes a year. I literally had to take a step back and think about it. If you're not a risk taker, you probably should get a job at I love drinking coffee and eating muffin from Tim Hortons, but it's probably I'm not joking. It's probably more secure to work at Tim Hortons job because you don't have to worry about like where your income comes in at the month. 6 o'clock, your shift is finished. Whatever the shift is, the work doesn't follow you home.
Right.
Drinking coffee, eating muffin, and drinking coffee for free every single day. You probably should consider that because this is a really good advantages because real estate. What I came to realize is I get into the industry that I wake up every single day unemployed.
Yep.
That's just the reality behind it. You're gonna have to wrap your head around it. If you're thinking of getting into real estate, you're waking up every single day unemployed. However, you have the opportunity to dictate how much money you want to make based on how much effort and input you want to put in. So I that was for me it was a great opportunity because okay, if there's so much failure ratio in the industry, that will allow me to actually okay, I would love to be one of the top 1%. Because if there is everybody struggling, that means there is some people like 80-20 rule, 20% of the people they do 80% of the business.
Right.
I don't believe this is true because in the real estate, in the world that I'm living in, is probably 90-10 or 95-5.
Right. Exactly.
Like 5% of the
Very
realtors
extreme.
you do 95% of the business. If that's the case, that is the business I want to be in because I'm competitive. I would love to be in. I go in and you're gonna have to make it happen. So it's just like an advice for people that want to get into real estate or just starting their career.
Sure.
Probably look at it that way.
Absolutely. I want to ask you a question. Where in Egypt are you from?
Alexandria, North Coast.
Okay, I haven't been there, but I have been in Egypt. I've
I
been from Cairo all the way down to the bottom, like Abu Simbel, all the way
oh,
down.
oh, oh I actually haven't visited Abu Simbel yet, Luxor in the South Egypt.
Yeah.
Those are it's in my bucket list. I actually haven't been there yet.
You want to talk about hot? I was there like middle of July, beginning of August, like hot.
You will know. It's like 50 degrees. Yeah.
Crazy,
Yeah.
but it was an amazing experience. Anyway, we'll talk about that another time. So now you're jumping into real estate. So what was it like? You got into real estate. What was your first year like? Give us a picture.
Absolutely. So I did back then when I got my license, it was like 3 courses and you get your license, and everything is good. So after my second course, I actually quit my job. Reason why I quit my job is again, I'm taking it with full seriousness level, and I'm like, there is no U-turn. It's done. I'm gonna go jump in with 2 feet, full-time job. However, what I did is not recommended for anybody because I don't think this is the smartest way to do that back
Right.
then. I quit my job before I actually got my license. Which
Okay.
is like, I knew like, okay, well, I booked my third exam, which is the final one. I know, okay, my exam is next month. I'm gonna pass that exam, and I'm just gonna get my license. So
Right.
it sounds so simple. So
Hit the
I,
ground running.
yeah, I during that time, I let every single person that I know for the last 4 years know that I'm getting into real estate. I'm very grateful for the sales jobs here and there that I have done before getting into real estate because I wasn't born here. I didn't grow up here. I didn't go to university here. There is no so-called sphere of influence or network, people that you will tap on
Right.
to start your career or start your life. My wife from here originally, and she's very quiet. She has a very quiet life. probably 2 friends, and thank you so much. So there is no whole a lot of like people that network you tap on and just that kind
Right.
of literally on my own. So I did let every single person know that I'm getting into real estate and prospecting and nurturing and like building relationships, and I actually didn't study. So exam came in and I actually failed my exam. I'm like, okay, it's not a big deal, and not the end of the world. I I I rescheduled my exam. I failed the exam again because I was so caught up on what's going to happen after I pass the exam.
Right.
Like just so like hype, like, oh my god, I have all of these people like they would love to have my service and all of that stuff. I failed my exam 3 times.
Oh, no way.
Yeah, so people at the office, I was very lucky that I started my career at one of the top teams at Keller Williams at that time. Was my friend Shahazi. So we started the together, and then I'm like, look guys, like my issue is not sales or like marketing or building a relationship or none of this. It's the lingo, like terminology. What the hell are you guys saying when you wanna real estate related?
Right.
Real estate terminology book. What so-called scripting? I was like, oh, don't worry, that's the easy one. Just come to the office. Just we're gonna scripting every morning. Get yourself familiar with it. So I started going to the office and like get myself familiar with how they're wording, what they want to say, and all of that stuff. And I'm like, man, that looks bad. People will think I'm stupid. Like how you fail your exam 3 times. I'm like, okay, just take a step back, and I actually have to study. So I actually studied and I passed my exam. So 57 days. When I get my license, I did 18 transactions in 57 days.
Stop, 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 stop. Because that people don't understand that. That's crazy. All right. That's hard to believe. So how did these transactions happen? Because we know that they didn't fall out of the sky.
It was the result of the work that I have done before I get my license.
Okay.
And the relationship that I've built with the people that since I came to Canada, like building a relationship for the previous 4 years before I get into real estate. They trust you. They trust you, and they want to maintain the relationship. And I always have a fundamental belief in the business is make a deposit in the equity relationship bank account. So there is a virtual bank account. I call it like the relationship equity bank account. That has the absolute highest ROI at any other like business you would ever think of. Because if I learn a brother, there's an opportunity in like somehow like west of Toronto, whatever the area is, gives us like 500% ROI. We'll leave whatever in our hand and just run and get it. Actually, this is too much. 50% ROI year over year. Nobody even does that, right?
Right.
So that relationship equity bank account, it has probably over 1,000% ROI from the relationship with people that you're building. Because if I open, think about it that way. I'm getting into a business. You are getting into a business. You're asking somebody to do a ad, whatever the industry or the services that you provide. For somebody to essentially do business with you, you're asking for a withdrawal. Hey, Alarm, would you like to? I'm selling you like water bottles. Sure. Why the hell would I buy from you, Ibrahim?
Right.
That's me asking you to buy this. This is a withdrawal. What kind of deposit that I put in my relationship with you, that when I ask you for a withdrawal, I have a deposit in that balance?
Yes.
Because we didn't make any single deposit. I cannot just walk into an ATM machine with a debit card in my hand.
And
I
take
put
out.
the there is not like nothing's gonna come out of the machine because there is no deposit has been made. Think of the concept, okay? It's exact same thing. However, that account was an equity relationship bank account with human being. It has the absolute highest ROI that I have ever seen in my life. So when I get into the business, everybody knew, and also it's a result of me failing the exam 3 times because I wasn't really studying. I was just literally working. I just didn't have my license.
Right. Right. You're doing a little backwards, but that's okay.
Yeah, like I didn't have my license. I'm like, I just go in. The point I'm trying to make here is just jump in with your 2 feet in. Make sure that there is don't make any alternative. There is no alternatives. It will have to work out. There is no ifs or buts.
Right.
And that was the main reason behind those. Literally,
these were from relationships that you had, right? Existing relationships. You were just letting people know that you're in the business or you're going to be shortly. And how were you depositing? Because that's a concept that makes perfect sense. But a lot of people have a hard time putting that into reality. Like, what does that really mean? How are you depositing value and equity into a relationship?
I don't make, it doesn't take a genius, brother, to make a good business decision. It doesn't make a genius. Anybody goes to business school or like they will Binky Mouse coaching, they will teach you how to make a good business decisions.
Sure.
What I've come to learn from my the law, I used to practice law for 3 years before that. I played soccer all my life. It's the whole concept of like giving before you take back. Um, it, I, I, I'm really good at making a principle-based personal decision. So it's a whatever journey you and I are going on, it's principle-based. Does that align with the principle that me and you believe in? Principle-based. Personal decision. It's all about personal, not a business itself.
Right.
Knowing that making such principle-based personal decision will take care of the business 10 times. Most people have it backwards. How can I do business? How can I do business? The question is like, yo, brother, how did you do it? Or like, how did you become who you are? I'm like, if I ask you, you will not be able to answer that question because this is so, it's too big, like very, like, there's no way how to answer that question. The question is, what did you have to overcome to get to where you are today? That is the right question. So I can actually narrow it down for you. Okay, I had to overcome this and this and this and this and that to be able to get to where I am today. You would do the same thing. Everybody's listening would do the same thing. So it's sometimes we just have to, I will say like 90%, if not more, of the real estate game has to do with the mindset, and 10% has to do with just the actual activity of the real estate business.
Right. The daily activities and all of that.
Yeah. Like the whole, you just happen to be in the business of, the product is real estate, but the business itself is a human relationship. And then the whole journey of starting a furniture real estate and then take it from almost non-existent to number one team in the country for Keller Williams in literally 3 years. There is another concept we have to go above that. But if somebody's listening to us right now and individual agents, somebody's starting the real estate career, somebody's like, I want to be a rock star agent selling 40, 50, 60 homes a year, like 90% is mindset, and then 10% is the actual activity for real estate. If you're that top rockstar agents or somebody starting a team or having a team currently and wanna take that from here to here, you're gonna have to stop thinking about like the mindset anymore and start working in your heart set, which people don't talk about that. The heart set, not the mindset, which is how you're actually treating the human being that you're working with.
Right.
Which is a whole different level of like, mindset becomes like almost like kindergarten anymore, because like it's just, that's the fundamental, that's ABC. You don't even have to talk about that.
Right.
And this is where we might talk about this for 3 days. Yeah. It's very interesting. We're literally in the human resources, human development, human attraction, human retention business that just happen to be in real estate. And I mean it not a bluff. It's just a matter of fact.
No, absolutely. Absolutely. I agree 100%. All right. So I interrupted your history in real estate. So I apologize for that. So we're right away in your first 60 days, you said?
First, 60, 57.
57 days. Sorry.
2 months is 60 days. It's 57 exactly.
57. All right. So you did those transactions, which is absolutely incredible. Were they a combination of listings and purchases, or was it one?
What about like 4 or 5 listings and about like 12 or 13 buying?
Okay, great. And you're on a team at this point.
I was at a team at that time. Yes, I was at a team at that time for sure. About 6 months in or 7 months into being on a team, just for the long-term alignment and the vision of how I would like to do things and how the team would like to do things. We just had to part separate ways in a very classy way. We're still until now, because you know what? This is good. If somebody, there is sun here for a second. Hold on a second. Okay. If somebody is like thinking about the idea of like, the way I look at it, okay, you're in the sports world. Okay, there is 2 transfer window every year. You might be a rock star player, and then that team is a rock star team. Both of you are rock stars. Just the style of how you're doing how you're playing the game is not matching the style of how the team tactics actually work.
Sure,
And
absolutely.
this is why they allow two transfer window, because the right player can be in the right team can be not the right. You know what I mean? This is how I look at it. I'm like, it's not the end of the world. There is no hard feelings. People like,
Yeah.
I don't really get offended about stuff like that. I mean, like, if you're listening, if you're watching, this is okay thing to do. You know, that's totally fine. It's think about it like you're playing sports, you know, and that's how things should be. But again, very grateful for everything I was being part of that team in the beginning, and I went on my own. I sold 52 homes the following year, which in Ontario here, if the audience are in Ontario, it's considered a good amount of real estate.
Yeah, absolutely.
It's good. On my own, it was a lot. I'm like, I literally had no personal life, like literally zero life.
Of
And
course.
that was second year of real estate. Okay. So I'm like, I had to literally have a reality check between me and myself. Pause. I'm like, is this what I want to get out of it? Because I can barely see my wife. I can barely talk to my mom on the phone. It's just not good. And then look, life is not just business.
Exactly. It can be all consuming, this business 24/7 if you let it. And like you said, you don't want to live to work. You want to work to live, right? So you have to ask yourself that question. Before we get deeper into that, 52 transactions your second year, fantastic. That can't all be from the sphere of influence. That there had to be some sort of prospecting or something going on, right?
83%. 83% of my business is sphere of influence.
Incredible. So you hooked up with some good people when you came to the country, developed some relationships, really put your heart into the relationships, and it came back.
You remember when I told you math is the path?
Yep.
This is an extra step for anybody that's watching. What is the lifetime value for just one client? The lifetime value for just one client. I've done 7 transactions from just one client through them and their kids and their brother-in-law, their parents-in-law, and the whole just one client only. Understanding that if the average is only 4 transactions, I don't know how you're feeling, because I got really pissed off when somebody complains of like, oh my God, that is so hard business. I'm like, are you freaking kidding me? Like it is like seriously? Like, are you for real now? Because you have the absolute perfect opportunity on the planet that the business is called real estate, because you are sitting in an air-conditioned area, literally having your phone and you're dialing like this,
Right.
calling people, asking them how they're doing for something that, by the way, they need. And you're calling that you're having hard life or the business is tough.
Well, I think it's more than that, though. I mean, like you mentioned, the lifestyle can be very difficult for some people, and their mind may not be organized in such a way that
Yes.
it helps. So
I'm not saying the business is easy. What I'm saying is it's absolutely simple.
it's simple.
Understanding that you have the 90% mindset. But the point is, you're in a business that when those clients comes back to you and then comes to you, are you taking that with the same level of seriousness, understanding the ripple effect of how far that can go? Just one client.
Mhm.
You met a client, how far can you take this? What kind of impact would you make on their life that the next year at the Christmas dinner, when their Uncle Bob asking them like, oh, I want to buy a house, they would remember your name? What would that have to happen? What does have to, like, what would you have to do for this to happen at that back then?
What would you have to do? A lot of people are wondering because they don't have that kind of relationship, and they'd love to have that kind of relationship, but they just, for some reason, it doesn't quite resonate for them. Give us a
But
window into
the number,
developing those relationships.
yeah, the number one rule is just come out of, like, operate your business out of a contribution, actual true contribution, like, not, don't fluff it up. It's the actual true contribution.
Yeah.
Understanding that you are dealing with the absolute most expensive asset that this person will ever have in their life. Nobody owns anything more expensive than their homes. So you have to be relational, not transactional. You have to be relational, not transactional. It's not about transaction, it's just a byproduct. It will happen no matter what. It's the people, the human relationship that's matter the most. Are you always having in mind that Hey, how deep or how big my deposits in the equity relationship bank account? It's the relationship business.
Hmm.
It's people's emotions and expectations. So what would you do is you have to take a step back, detach yourself. Here is the sum it up. Detach yourself from the outcome and stick to the process.
Yes.
So I'm meeting a client for first day. What does the outcome look like? I absolutely have zero interest about what that look like. It doesn't matter. I'm only sticking to the process of making sure that you have the absolute best experience in buying and selling your home, the best of my ability.
Right.
Now, happen or not, I don't really care. I might tell you, you know what, you're not buying this house. Your wife fell in love with it. I'm gonna tell you, brother, I hate to tell you this, but I'm actually not gonna put you an offer for this house because I really truly don't believe this is the right home for you because of 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. I understand the emotional aspect of the family want to live in this area, but I'm telling you why not is because of these areas. If you listen to me or not, it doesn't matter, but I want to make sure that I'm telling you what you have to hear, not what you want to hear.
Right.
So it's a relational, not transactional. That's the absolute most important thing. And understanding that there is a reason why 87% of the people that get interested get out of the real estate too. It's a combination of understanding the real world, what's actually happening around you, and 90% mindset, and in the relationship business, not the transactional business. A
Mhm.
combination of three will make you that rockstar agent and work your face off on top of all of that.
Right. Exactly. Because you have to put forth the effort. You can't just sit back and wait for it to happen.
Yeah.
All right, great. So year three, what does year three look like for you?
Year three, um, we started the team.
Okay, so how did that begin? You just felt because you were saying, and I interrupted you, it was taking over your life, right? You weren't having
Yes.
any relationships. So
Yeah.
what
So
happened?
what I did, brother, is I literally I sat by myself and I brought in pen and paper. I draw, and by the way, if anybody's watching, for any current team leader that's watching, do that experiment because it will give you a reality check for what you really actually want to have, but you
Hmm.
just how to get it. I brought in the pen and paper and a draw line in the middle. Right hand side of the line, every single possible reason why I need to be part of a team. Everything that I can. This is me, just me personally. If you're watching, you personally. If you have a team right now, good for you. If you're like selling 100 homes a year, good for you. What the hell this team has to look like for you to be like, you know what? I'm actually going to be part of that team. Put your ego aside now. What does that team should look like?
Right.
Everything the team has to have. The other side of the line, on the same paper, every single possible reason why I will never join a team if that team has any of this list. Here is the wish list, and here is the
The
I don't
do
like.
not list.
Yeah,
Yeah.
I don't like. So I did this. I'm like, okay, well, I sat with every single possible team that I can put my hands on in the Waterloo region here inside Keller. By the way, I've never been outside of Keller Williams from day one. Like we're not jumping around. So even the whole EXB move, it took us 2 years. Not because we're stupid and it took us 2 years to think about it, but it's just 2 years of like investigation, analysis,
Sure.
comparison. Sure, if we're making that move, it is the right move because
It has to fit your culture. It has to fit
yeah,
everything.
a large team. It's not easy. There is a lot of moving parts behind the scene. We want to step on a solid ground. So that's why we took our time to investigate the crap out of everything. I'm like, you know what? It became very crystal clear. We will be not too smart to actually like not move. We had it's black and white. We had to move.
Mhm.
Talk about that later. So now I sit here and like, okay, here is what I need from a team. And I sat with every team and I'm like, okay, cool. I probably am the problem. And I acknowledge it because there is no team that actually can fit in. It's too far from being cocky, but just like maybe I'm the problem because 99% of the teams in North America now, probably because now that we know what we know, they operate in almost the same way, almost the same structure, almost the same like everything is almost identical. Everybody's copying everybody.
Right.
Cool. Maybe I happen to be like I just meant to do my own then forever. But man, I continue doing this. It's not fun. I'm like, there's got to be a way. So I had two of my business partners that still currently with us. Um, I sat with them. I'm like, hey guys, here is how things should be. We need to start a team. It was literally Idris Bey. It was like 10 minutes conversation. Like, shake hands. Like, are we? I'm like, okay, but I gotta have to submit you over. He's like, are we done? I'm like, I guess so. Yeah, sure. Shake hands with the team.
All
So
right.
that was a blind faith based on the previous experience that we know about each other.
Right.
Very ever grateful for that, for Idris's trust and brotherhood and business partnership. So the team started around from three of us, myself, Patty, and Idris, three of us. 2 months later, Jahid and Connor joined us. So it's the 5 people, and they were growing. So as we started um, November 1st, 2018, which is the anniversary date for Affinity Real Estate, November 1st, 2018, that was the anniversary date. We came out of non-existence. That there is a new team called Affinity. There is no ranking in Canada whatsoever. By June 2019, halfway through 2019, we appeared on the map. Like, oh, okay, well, the name showed up somehow. Number
Right.
73 in Canada, 73. Keep doing what we're doing, put your head down, work smart and hard. Just go above and beyond. Focus on production, maintaining the relationship with people. Finishing 2019, by December 31st, 2019, we made it to the top 25 list on Canada, okay, for Keller Williams Canada.
Was that a goal for you, or was that just happening?
The goal is to hit 1 billion of sales by 2023.
Okay.
That was back 2018. Just FYI, I'm going to walk you through the whole thing. So 2020 starts, we're gradually going up and up. And when you reach the top 25 list, it's not a joke anymore, because those people, they know what they're doing.
Right.
So like when you like navigate and move up, it's not going to be as fast, because these are the real deal. Okay. So move up like 23, 24, 19, 17, all of that stuff, right? By the end of 2020, we made it to the top 10. Thank God, forever grateful for that. 2021, and when you go to the top 10, it gets even harder and harder and harder to navigate through up,
Yeah,
like,
I'm sure.
climb the ladder. So we did this January 2022. We hit the number 1 team in Canada for GCI and for sales volume. We left at March 31st, 2022, which is a month ago. We were the number 1 team in Canada at that time for growth, like sales volume and GCI. And we made the move to EXB. We are the team, we moved in 25 agents. Right now with 37 agents at EXB.
Sorry, you have a team of 37 agents?
Correct.
Wow, that's a big team, man.
Yeah.
So when you were writing everything down and the way you planned out the team, because you're very methodical, I mean, what was the idea behind the numbers? Did you have a sense of, because we both know, there are teams out there that are very, we'll call them egocentric, where there's the team leader and he just throws off the little stuff down there and he just piles a bunch of people underneath him just to have people, right?
Mhm.
Just because it sounds impressive, but that's not the type of person that you are. So there are other teams that are lean and mean. They have 10 people on the team. Each person does like 50 transactions a year. So, or even more sometimes. I know a team out in Windsor that's doing huge numbers, but it's very like small and lean. So what are you going for here? What's your ideal picture for this team? Because 37 agents is a lot to manage.
We came in 100% of our team moved us with us, which is, it was, I don't know why would that shock for some people, but with the amount of text messages DM, which is, we're forever grateful for it. It's like, oh, the whole team moved with you guys. And I'm like, in my head thinking like, why is that a surprise?
Right.
Like, but again, we live in the real world. We understand how the attrition rate works in the industry, 30% average industry, all of that stuff. But it was a reality check, and I'm like, you know what, we're forever grateful for that. Move on. We had a beautiful, meaningful business relationship that happened after we moved to EXB. Another team, which is Milltown Property Group, led by Brandon Town and Greg the Millionaire, existing EXB team, they actually decided to join us. So now it became like 37 agents, not only 25.
Gotcha.
Yeah. So we're really grateful for that. The goal is to have 47 team partner, and that would equal to 1 billion of sales.
Excellent. And when it comes to now, you mentioned, I mean, it's a very different mentality managing a team versus doing your own thing, right? Especially a team of that size. What are the goals for each team member?
Well, here is the thing. We call them business partners, not team members or agents. The reason why we do that. Here is the thing, though. I mean it seriously, because for anybody that's listening right now and having a team and struggling with attrition and all that stuff, like think about it that way. They're not your freaking agents. Number one, just put it aside, just take it out of your head because they're not. You don't own them. They're not your property. They're not under your name.
They're
They
not
have their own.
lesser than. They're not minions. They are truly partners in.
They are now as a company. As a company, we have two different clientele. People that want to buy and sell real estate, which is our respected buyers and seller client that they make our lights on and pay the bills, and then also real estate professionals that you want to run the real estate business at a company. Every single agent on their planet, they need a company to operate their real estate business at.
Right.
We just need that company for the agent to choose to come run their business at the company. So if, as any financially responsible person, if you have stocks and your stocks are not doing that good, what would you do? You're gonna withdraw the deposit or the stocks and then purchase other stocks that makes you higher ROI. What made you think the agents are not gonna do the same thing? They're running their own business. They're smart people as much as you are. Probably they're smarter than you as well. Just FYI, if you don't know that, you might be
smarter than me. Definitely smarter than me.
Sure, they're smarter than me. That's for sure. I know that as a matter of fact. Yeah. So if they're doing this, the wish list that I have, everything that I possibly thought of, they would love to have this. Everything that I hated, that I didn't want, they probably wouldn't want it either.
Right.
So make sure you're living in the future to welcome them when they arrive, because they're going to that future. It's a matter of time. They just don't know better yet because you just happen to be in the business longer than they have. It doesn't mean you're smart. Doesn't mean they're not going to figure it out, So when they get to the future, you're going to have to be already there to welcome them when they arrive. So that's the mindset that we have on the website. I don't believe in the like we believe in the flat organization. We run our business based on EOS. For anybody that wonder what that is, you just Google EOS, Entrepreneurial Operating System. It's the most advanced system to run like larger organizations. In the org chart, it basically says like here is the visionary, here is the integrator, and here is like the departments. We actually broke it down. Everybody's on the same level, and I'm the last person on that map. The reason why I'm on the last person because I believe in the servant leader mindset. Leadership is a privilege and it's constantly to be honored, and it comes with a lot of responsibilities. So if you want to be a team leader, you signed up for a lot of shit that right. You just so it's I'm the last person on the website. Like the whole CEO owner that I'm not really a big fan of this because I'm not owner of anybody. I just happen to tag along with these smart people and serve them so they can be the best they can. And I'm getting the credit. I don't know why they should be getting the credit, not me.
Well, it's a team, like you said. Absolutely.
Yeah. So this is just the mindset that we have that we embody, that we think of, and that allowed us to grow as fast as we've done.
Excellent. Okay, so we've talked about your journey and how you've gotten from the beginning all the way to where you are now, where you've sort of combined powers with another team, and you've got this huge team of 37 agents, which is fantastic. You're all working focused on a shared vision, right? And partnership. So where do you see yourself going from now? Now that you've transitioned from to a new company. Yeah. What is that allowing you to do?
It's can I talk about EXP for a minute? Just
yeah, sure absolutely.
Context. The reason why we didn't move, we were hitting ceilings where we are. Nothing wrong about that. Like we're forever grateful for the relationship that we've built at Keller Williams and the people that we've interacted with, everything that we've learned.
Great company, a lot of great people that I know there. Absolutely.
The problem was the actual model itself. There is a certain level you will get there, and thank you so much. This is just what it is, which is the OB level, or like owning a market center, which we had absolutely no interest in doing. We were no interest in that.
Yeah.
So for anybody that's thinking like a little bit in the future, if we're interested in anything, we're interested in like on a regional level, and that's not going to happen because there is not enough land in all regions already sold out,
Right.
So EXP allows us, and also I have 5 of my business partners, people that I call them affinity parents, the people that they felt affinity real estate. If it wasn't for them, affinity real estate would have never been where we are today. Period. End of discussion. I'm aware of that, and I owe this. We would have always. They will always be under me in the normal traditional model of doing real estate brokerage.
Right.
We can talk again for a long time with that. Without going into whole detail, they will always be under me. End of discussion.
Right.
The only way for them to build a bigger business, than assuming this is the business or that's the business, to build the bigger business, they have to get out of this to build the bigger business. In our Waterloo region here, okay, there is about 6 or 7 independent brokerages. Hear me out, okay?
Mm-hmm.
They all came out of one specific brokerage.
No, really?
100%. Me thinking here, is there a platform that the play field has been leveled? Everybody has the same equal opportunities to grow their businesses, conditional upon them making the same effort as Lauren is making. If I were to do the same effort you're doing, I'm going to have the same business you have.
Right.
Is there a platform that allowed this? If there was, I swear to God, we wouldn't have those 7 independent brokerages that we have right now in our region, because
Right.
they didn't have to. There is no competition. There is only collaboration. People work together under one roof. You don't have to be like somebody else's competition, because you can actually grow massively, and your win is my win. And now here's the thing. Your win is my win. We can say that, or we can actually implement it. We can actually see it, a real translation on the ground of what win-win actually means.
Right.
So going back to those people are a lot more smarter than me, we had to make that move for them to be like, you know what? This is first question we ask ourselves is this the right move for the agents?
Right.
It was 100%, because we have some of our team members, they sell in Alberta. They have to be under different brokerage. Brother, this is a big one, because even, you know what? Forget about different province. If you, with me in ABC brand, whatever that brand might be, like normal traditional real estate brokerage, you're gonna have to be under different brokerages there in GTA, and I'm different brokerage in Waterloo region.
Yeah.
It is what it is. Different splits, different caps, different whole thing. It's just shenanigans. Everything starts from the beginning.
Right.
The whole idea of EXP comes in here. Literally, there is no border. We didn't really give it much thoughts back then. I'm like, yeah, it doesn't really affect us anyway,
Sure.
No, it doesn't. We're still selling real estate. As you're getting grow, you will start feeling the pain of having restrictions above you, and then the territory borders.
Right.
EXP removed all of that for us. And we're forever grateful for that, because now everybody can sell real estate in Halifax, in BC, in Alberta, and like Prince Edward Island for the same brokerage. Is just one brokerage in the whole country, EXP Realty of Canada. It took us quite a bit of time to be like, okay, how does that make any sense? It's no different than back in the day when I want to transfer data from your laptop to my laptop, or your desktop to my desktop. I run to the desktop. I don't like the Amazon Blockbuster, it's overused.
Right.
Like,
yeah, sure.
I don't like it, but it's the idea of, okay, I'm gonna go run and just get like a hard drive, like actual physical hard drive.
Right.
Plug it to your laptop, move the data on, and then unplug it. Plug it to my laptop.
Over there. Yeah.
As the world evolves, like, there is like Dropboxes, Google Drive. Like, people are not really feel good about that, because I don't know what the security level look like. But the more security measures input in place, people start getting more okay with the idea of not having that, And now the world works perfectly fine, and we have no problem. Now everybody's using cloud.
Yeah.
Now, if you're a large team like us, you need a physical office, which we do. I'm not a big fan of brick and mortar. For God's sakes, we need brick and mortar, because this is just for our size of the organizations. We need that.
Absolutely.
So if you're a big team, you probably need a physical office, because this is where you build a culture, you meet your clientele, you build a whole massive organization. So we do need that. We actually we bought one of the best buildings in the main real estate street in the Waterloo region that has the real estate board, and then that has the major like Central 21, Keller Banker, Keller Williams. Now there is a biggest one like EXP Realty.
I saw just a little clip on your stories, and it looked beautiful. Really, the space looks beautiful. I'll have to come down there and we'll go out for lunch or something.
You're more than welcome to come and visit us, brother.
I absolutely will.
Yeah. So the building is basically we're opening it to all the EXP region, EXP like agents
In the
that
area.
in the area to just come in and work from there. Absolutely.
Beautiful.
Reason why we did this from a business perspective, we're treating this as a business, not as a job.
Right.
And from a bigger level, and how serious we're taking the opportunity and in the honor of being within EXP is, if we were to have the same equal opportunity in a normal traditional brokerages, it would have cost us millions of dollars to own a region at that brand.
Yes.
So what EXP does is there is no geographic territory. We don't sell franchises. So now in the normal traditional model, because we were almost doing that, we were almost in the age of doing that.
Right.
It cost you a couple $1 million to own that region, and then another couple $1 million to actually grow that region. Okay.
Right.
Which basically, I would love to have like 1,000 rock star agent in our brokerage ABC, assuming that's the brand.
Right.
And we're going to have like 10 market centers in 10 different cities, and each market center has 100 agents. Good for you guys. Go ahead. Now, there is a couple $1 million all in that region to begin with.
Exactly.
And then there is another couple $1 million to grow that region after owning it. EXB gave us this opportunity for absolutely no cost to us to grow that region, to own that region. Now, it's up to us how much we want to grow it. So we literally bought almost $5 million building. The reason why we're buying this building is to show the seriousness of how deep we see the vision and how grateful we are for the opportunity, and grow it for. You can talk about collaboration, or you can actually show that, because we have a lot of agents comes in here, EXP agents, non-affinity real estate team members. They coming in because their success is actually. You don't have to use me on the team to show you everything we do. You don't have to be part of my team to grow each other. Your success is my success.
Right.
There's no other brand that will give anybody this opportunity outside of EXP. Would love to debate that or to talk about that, because I speak with passion now, because it's people need to actually see it. People need to understand how amazing this is.
It's a different level of collaboration for sure, which is why I've been a part of it, and what
100%.
I really loved. I mean, that's what I'm all about. From all the brokerages that I've been with, nothing even compares. And then on the scale as well, not just on the one-to-one, but the scale, because we have access to everybody all over North America. But having said that, I don't want to harp on EXP too bad. All brands are great, like do your thing. But
we have, like, for our friends that are watching, we have a lot more friends in outside brokerage than we know inside our brokerage.
Right, exactly.
We're good for that.
Exactly, 100%. All right, so I want to ask you a question. I want to give you a little scenario here. Let's imagine you have a nephew, because you have a lot of nieces and nephews, you told me. So let's imagine you have a nephew who is getting into real estate, but moved in the middle of nowhere town with no connections, much like you did. How would you suggest they grow their business? Now, aside from what I would always suggest, try to find a good team with a good culture.
I was literally going to say that. Yeah, it's your surroundings. Your surroundings are the absolute most important thing you will ever have in your life. You have to find a good team. Now, the real estate industry needs individual agents. Not everybody meant to be in a team, not everybody meant to be in their own. To start, you have to be on the right team, to have the right systems, models, structure for your business, lead generation process. You have to be in a team. After that, it's up to you. The reflection moment will happen in your life. I'm talking to my nephew now,
Right.
So the reflection moment is going to happen in your life, which I don't know how long it's going to take you, but it will happen. That's for sure. I just don't know when, but I know it will. Might take you 6 months, might take you 6 years. You're going to pause and you're going to reflect in your journey with that ABC team company brokerage. Two things is going to happen. You're going to be like, holy cow, now that I know what I know, I've been taking advantage of, I'm leaving. Or the flip side of the coin, holy cow, now that I know what I know, I really appreciate everything that ABC team brokerage company has given me before I know that I should know that.
Right.
Now I know I actually appreciate it. So my first advice is plug yourself with the absolute right team that you can find, and then start building your business properly. That's the best way to go. Going on your own, you just don't know what you're doing. You're gonna fast forward a lot of time to yourself.
Absolutely. But there are situations where, you're in the middle of a region, there are only a handful of teams, and none of them are a good fit. They're the old school kind of ego team mentality. Nobody shares, no one really trains. So in that case, let's say they had to do it themselves and maybe they could get some mentorship from somebody. What would you suggest they do to hit the ground running and build their business in a
Reach
strong
out, reach out to me. There is a lot of great people in the research industry that they come from contribution.
way?
Reach out. You know what? Call us.
Yep. Call me,
Listen,
call you.
I
Absolutely.
don't care what brand or what brokerage you're at. We have an open book policy, as I told you when we start talking. Ask me for anything you want to ask me for. We
That's
have an
right.
open, ask question, go to learn, go to us. We will always share with you everything we want. We're gonna show you how to bake the absolute best pancake, absolute best delicious pancake. I'm gonna give you the recipe, I'm gonna give you the ingredients, but knowing that nobody's gonna cook it for you.
Yep.
That is the absolute most important thing as well. So I'm
Hmm.
gonna get everything you want, but just nobody's gonna do the work for you. But what you need, you need the GPS, literally. But you need how to drive the car. I'm gonna give you the exact GPS step by step of what needs to be done. Reach out to us. We would love to help you. I'm pretty sure there is a lot of people where you are. They come from contribution.
100%. And even if they're not where you are directly, there are many opportunities to go and meet people outside of your market center. Trainings, different mastermind groups, Facebook groups. Reach out to people, and they'll more than likely be
There is
open.
one advice though. There is one advice. As you're listening and as you're gonna take that advice and go reach out to people, there is two type of people on the planet. Only two. There is no other ones. There is a practitioner one, and there is theorists one.
Right.
People that actually have done what you want to do, or people that one size fits all, like Mickey Mouse coaching and training. That don't worry about me. If you just follow my system, the model, it will get you to where you want. So the advice that I'm going to give everybody is make sure you're only listening to practitioners, people that they walk the talk, people that they are where you want to be, not people that they haven't done anything and they're teaching you, okay, just follow
Right.
the model to get there. If the system and model actually works, it would have worked for you because I don't see you have the result that you want to teach me to have.
Right.
Period. End of discussion.
Yeah. Mic drop.
Yeah, there is like mild, medium, hot sauce of feedback or like accountability level. I don't know how to do mild or medium. I only go on a hot sauce. So
We're the
if
same
that's
that
too
way.
aggressive for you, like let us know.
Yeah, exactly. Exactly. Awesome. Well, thank you so much for taking the time, brother. I really appreciate it.
My honor to be here, brother, and I look forward to see you soon in person.
I'm gonna come. I'm gonna come down there. We're gonna have lunch, okay? And you can show me your new office.
100%, brother. Honor to
Awesome.
be here. Thanks for having me.
Take care.
Take care. Bye bye.